guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, beautiful souls of the internet. So today I'm going to talk about a topic that is super important to understand in the spiritual community when you're doing tarot, astrology, anything of this nature, and this is karmic connections versus soulmate connections. So honestly, learning about this can really help you understand the connections in your life so much better, understand why things unfold the way that they do, why things play out the way that they do, and it also can help you move on from toxic situations and connections. So yeah, I think this is super important to understand, and I want to offer up for you guys what I've learned and things that I've kind of understood about karmic versus soulmate connections through my own journey. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I'll say is karmic connections are an instantaneous pull. Like, it literally feels like you'll see them and right away you just have this instant draw and connection to each other. And this is because oftentimes karmic connections are to burn off karma from a past life. So the reason why you have such a pull to them is because you have known them in a past life, you've had a past life with them, and in this lifetime you're like recognizing them again. And the main thing to understand about karmic connections is they come in to teach us a lesson, to burn off karma, and then they are meant to go away. So this is why people stay in toxic relationships. This is why people stay in toxic friendships. This is why people find themselves in situations that they don't really want to be in, but they feel like they can't leave those situations. So it's because they're not learning the lesson. So when I think about a karmic relationship, I always see it as like a wheel, kind of like a wheel of karma, where it's like it spins and spins and spins and kind of never ends. It's like a never-ending cycle until you learn the lesson and you walk away. So one thing that's so important is, like, we never want to be stuck in a cycle, especially a negative cycle in life. So it's really important to learn the lesson from a karmic connection and then leave and walk away. So karmic connections always come in to teach us something, to teach us a lesson, to burn off karma. And we're supposed to take this lesson, learn the lesson, and then leave the situation, guys. This is so important because I so often have clients when I do tarot readings that come in and they're like, I'm in this relationship and I just feel like this is the person for me. We're meant to be together, but they do this, that, and the other. There's lying, there's cheating, there's ups and downs, there's back and forth. And I'm like, this isn't your soulmate. This is a karmic connection. So it's really important to understand this, because a real soulmate and someone you have a real soul tie and connection with, it's not going to be up and down. It's not going to be a crazy roller coaster ride. It's not going to be lying and cheating and backstabbing, and it's not going to be all these like terrible things that are always going on. It's going to be so different and so much better than that. So those things always point to a karmic connection. When there's cheating, when there's lying, when there's this roller coaster of emotions, when you guys leave each other and then come back to each other like two magnets. Those are all really big indications of karmic connections. And some of those can be indications of twin flames too, but that's a whole other topic that I'm not going to get into today because that's just so much. But karmic connections are usually, there's this little undercurrent of toxicity in them. That's how you can tell. Like, it feels like you guys can't stay away from each other. You're two magnets that keep coming back to each other, but at the end of the day, there's always something that's a little bit toxic about it, and there's always a lesson to be learned. And once the lesson is learned and mastered, you guys are meant to walk away from each other, because karmic connections aren't meant to be in our life forever. They are there for karma. Look at the word karmic, karma. So it's like, burn that wheel of karma, learn the lesson, and then walk away. And when you do walk away, you'll very often find a true soulmate connection, because I've found in my personal life and with people that I've known, clients and stuff, that oftentimes when they learn the lessons from the karmic connections, this is when the real soulmate comes in after karmic connections and after the karmic lessons are learned and mastered. So, you'll know that it's a karmic relationship or connection because there's a huge lesson to learn. There's, things around self-worth, learning about self-esteem, learning about confidence, learning all these things that you need to learn and understand, and then you're supposed to walk away, and then you'll meet someone who's actually a soulmate or a twin flame. It's like usually a lot of like young people will be in karmic relationships. A lot of first loves and stuff are often karmic connections, not always, but it's usually the case because they need to burn off this karma and learn these lessons before they can get into a real soulmate connection, because soulmate connections are super different, super, super different. And yeah, karmic connections are just very like intense. It feels like a roller coaster. It feels like you guys can't stay away from each other. It feels like often it's imbalanced. Usually one person gives more and one person takes a lot. It's very, very much just like a cycle. It's this cycle that spins around and around until someone breaks the cycle. So yeah, that's a karmic connection. And I've been in a lot of karmic connections. I've had karmic friendships. They are super hard to walk away from, so I totally understand why people get stuck in them. But the more you kind of evolve, and the more you have this like self-confidence and self-worth, usually you stop attracting so many karmic connections and you start attracting more soulmate and soul tie connections. So yeah, that's a karmic connection. They're super intense. They're like two magnets that keep coming, towards each other, then repelling and then coming back. It's crazy, guys. It's a really crazy situation to be in, and a lot of people do get stuck in karmic connections. So the way to tell a soulmate connection is it will feel super easy and smooth sailing around someone who's a soulmate. You won't feel judged. You won't feel like they're out to get you. You won't feel like they're doing all these terrible things to you all the time. You won't feel like you're constantly learning lessons about self-worth and self-love. You'll feel like when you're with a soulmate, it's just super easy flowing. And, it's not to say that you won't fight with a soulmate, because that's not real life. There's always going to be fights. There's always going to be arguments in life, disagreements. But the difference is a soulmate is it's more kind of like a nurturing and very much like a synergetic connection where you guys just get each other, and it's not like crazy fights and ups and downs and throwing things, that's very karmic. It's more just like things are very smooth sailing. So karmic is like a crazy roller coaster. Soulmates is like you're on a smooth trip in the water. It's very smooth, it's very easy. You guys just feel like you've known each other forever, but it's like very synergetic and it's very easy to be around this person. And soulmates can be anyone. They can be teachers, they can be a person that you randomly meet down the street. Like, soulmates can be all around us. And soulmates, we come into this life with soul contracts. So we come in basically destined, predetermined and predestined to meet these people. And soulmates are teachers too. So like, karmics, you learn a lot of lessons. Soulmates, you learn a lot of lessons, but it's different kind of lessons. So with soulmates, it's usually a lot more uplifting and it's a lot more positive. So when you see like a relationship or a friendship where they don't fight that much, they really understand each other, they're kind of always on the same page, that's usually soulmates. When you see those couples that are always arguing, always fighting, always back and forth, breaking up and getting back together, that's usually a karmic connection. So soulmates, it doesn't mean that they're meant to be in our life forever, but it's not as much like the karmic connection that's really meant to be there for a short period of time to teach a lesson and then move forward. With soulmates, it's usually like those situations where people break up and they're still friends, or they're still, on good terms or okay with each other. That's usually like a soulmate relationship. And soulmate connections usually come into our life again after we learn a lot from karmic connections. And so soulmates are a lot more easy flowing, just a lot more lighthearted. I feel like it's a lot easier to be around a soulmate than it is around a karmic connection. And yeah, soulmates again can be anyone. It could be parents, it could be friends. A lot of times our friendships, they're soulmates because we just feel so comfortable around them. So yeah, a huge way to tell a soulmate is you'll just be really comfortable in their presence, like right away. The second you meet them, you're going to be really comfortable around them and you're not going to feel like they're judging you. You're not going to get those crazy butterflies. That's a huge thing with karmic connections. You get a lot of like nervousness and butterflies and anxiety, and like you kind of don't want to do the wrong thing around them. You feel sometimes like you're being judged. With soulmates, you don't have that feeling. You just feel super at ease in their presence. And yeah, so that's really how you can tell a karmic versus a soulmate. I hope that this can clarify for you guys, because I really, really believe that one of the most important things to understand in life is karmic connections versus soulmate connections, because karmic connections are really, really meant to be let go of. It's like they come in, they teach a lesson, and then they're meant to leave our life so we can move on and find soulmates or twin flames, people that we're really, really meant to be with, because karmic connections are not meant to be forever. It's really usually supposed to be a short-lived connection where you learn lessons, you take the lessons, and then you move forward and you move on. Because I find a lot of my clients, when I do tarot readings, they come in and they think that this person is a soulmate or a twin flame, and the person is hurting them or lying or cheating, and I'm like, this is not your soulmates. This is a karmic connection, and you need to move on. So yeah, it's really beneficial to understand the difference, and it's really, really beneficial to learn the lesson from the karmic connection and then just move forward with your life. Let it go. End the cycle, because karmic connections can feel like a never-ending cycle, and it just needs to end and stop eventually. So yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about with you guys today. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I hope this brought some clarity to your guys' life. That's all I aim to do, is bring clarity and help you guys understand these topics, because I've been through it. Whenever I talk about things, it's often from personal experience, and yeah, karmic connections are just really draining, super draining. So thank you again, guys. Please comment, like, or subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I have a lot more content coming soon, and I'm sending you guys so much love.